Video blog number 15, Informational Interviewing. So right now, this day and age, it's not about applying online like you used to be able to do. It's all about who you know. So what is an informational interview? An informational interview is an opportunity for you to sit down in a stress-free environment with an employer and ask questions, ask candid questions about what it means to work in that office, work in the company, work in that position, and what it takes to get there, and what steps you should take to get there, and what certifications, what type of training, all the questions that you sit and wonder as you're going through school. This is an opportunity to really build a relationship with an employer, but do your homework first. So when you're preparing for the interview, make sure you do as much research as possible so that when you come in and sit down with that employer, you have educated information that you're asking questions about. So for example, you could say something like, I noticed on your website that your mission statement states the X, Y, and Z. You know, how does that impact the way that you do business here? So that you're showing the employer that you're not wasting his or her time just saying, so tell me a little bit about this work environment, and you've done nothing to figure out the background of it first. You want to make sure that you contact the individual ahead of time to set up an appointment, and then send them a few of your questions ahead of time so that they can be prepared. Say, in my time with you, I plan to address the following, and you can bullet point a few different pointers that you're looking to try and gain from the interview. So at the very end of your time with the individual, you want to ask them, so who else should I talk to? Who else, if you were in my shoes right now, who else would you talk to gain as much information about this industry or about this profession as you possibly can? That way, when it comes to the next contact, when it comes to who it is that you're pursuing next, it's an opportunity for you to make a referral. So saying, you know, Jim Jones referred me to you and said that you should be somebody that I talk to and ask some questions. And that makes your contact to them much easier versus a cold call, or versus connecting with them on LinkedIn and just saying, hey, can I take you out for coffee and ask you some questions, and they don't know you that much. Obviously, ideally, you're going to be connecting with Point Loma alumni, and also potentially faculty might recommend people for you to talk to. Your parents would have friends in the industry that you might want to talk to. Ask anybody and everybody. Your classmates might have brothers and sisters, parents who work in the industry that you're looking for. So if you can do as many meetings and many informational interviews as possible, you'll be more prepared. After the interview, make sure you send a thank you card. Tell the employer that you plan to follow up with them and let them know where you are in the process. Make sure that you let them know that you will inform them of how you're doing, and also, if they have referred you an individual to talk to, make sure you wrap back up with them and you say, thank you so much for referring me to Jim Jones. It was such a great conversation. Here are the next steps. And if that's in an email, that's fine, but your initial meeting after you meet with the individual, make sure you send a thank you card. An informational interview is not a true job interview, but sometimes they end up turning into that. As the employer is sitting there chatting with you, they may see you as a great fit for their organization. So if you're not prepared in that moment to have the true interview, you can say, wow, thank you so much. Would it be okay if we set up a time later on so that I can come fully prepared for the interview? However, if you're feeling good and you've done the research you need to, go right ahead and turn that into an interview process, and you might end up landing a job. Just don't go into it expecting that this is going to land you a job. It's just another way of building a relationship, making a contact, so that person happens to be hearing or talking to another colleague about a need, they think of you first.